In today's world, businesses are moving vital applications to the cloud, where they depend on that always-on, anywhere access over secure and dependable wireless connections. In fact, 75% of the U.S. workforce use their personal cell phones for work. This number continues to grow as users report productivity increases of over 35%. The most competitive businesses today run on wireless. And as a result, the world of solution providers has exploded with options. Technology is advancing at light speed. Your customers have options and combinations never before available, and they need expert help to sort through the complexity to put their organization on the right trajectory. Teleris Technology Solutions Brokerage is uniquely positioned to enable our partners to be an expert-wide technology consultant. We've assembled the top minds in the wireless space, built the smartest tools, offered tailored education, and have crafted the most intentional vendor portfolio, all with our partners' needs in center focus. Real resources, real results. Teleris Advanced Wireless Solutions, exclusively for Teleris partners.
Hey, welcome to my mobility and IoT overview for our PAC attendees. If you're watching this video, I guess we ran out of time, or maybe you wanted to be able to share this with some of your teammates or your colleagues. So thanks for watching. And as always, you see the QR code. Great way to get in touch with me, learn about my podcast, where I have over 55 interviews with thought leaders, suppliers, and partners, all things mobility and IoT, mostly, as well as a one-pager with all of the suppliers in this space. So you definitely would like to, I'd love for you to check that out, because I think that's going to help you out a lot, as well as this short presentation. This is a very condensed version of a lot of information, as you can imagine. So jumping in, I just want to kind of share with you the growth. We've seen explosive growth actually over the last 4 years. And even this year, the deal size is double, triple, quadruple what we've seen in the past. So we're seeing larger deal sizes. And what kind of deals am I talking about? Predominantly smartphones, tablets, or even SIMs with gateways for cellular backup. So think about mobility, really it's anything with a SIM card. And even in this practice, we loop in managed Wi-Fi, microwave, point-to-point, fixed wireless. So think really almost anything wireless we can help you with. Majority of it, though, still is SIM-based devices such as smartphones, tablets, and gateways. So a lot of growth there. We anticipate this growth to continue, largely because of the digital workplace, largely because, you just can't think of a business that doesn't leverage some form of wireless, whether it be Wi-Fi or cellular. And just can't think about someone that really doesn't have maybe one or two cellular wireless devices on them, whether it be a phone, watch, or both, and a tablet. So great opportunity there. This chart may look familiar. It's been slightly revised a little. You can see, all the different swim lanes. And I like to think, IoT mobility really can touch every one of them. Honestly, there is no IoT without the internet, so network is important. Mobility is even a type of network. A lot of IoT and mobility have some cloud portions already bundled in, so you don't have to worry about managing that so much. And then UCaaS and CCaaS. Believe it or not, 75% of UCaaS users access the app on their smart devices, whether it be a tablet or a smartphone. And even CCaaS has some connections. Think about healthcare and insurance companies often are tied into sensors that are tied to a customer's accounts. When they call in, that agent sees what's going on and understands how they can help them better. And of course, all of these conversations, all the swim lanes need to be secured. So you can see how all of them really do kind of tie into each other. And focusing just on one or two of the swim lanes, you're really doing yourself a disservice as well as your clients a disservice. Just two slides coming up, this being the first, top IoT solutions we've seen this year. And then I want to go into mobility next. But the AI video is very exciting to me. You know, think about the amount of cameras you see in the hotel that we're here in Snowbird, or the amount of cameras at the airport, or any kind of shopping mall, or just around town, traffic cameras. Cameras are everywhere. I mean, people sometimes say, gosh, I don't like the idea. It's too big brother for me. I'm like, too late. There's already cameras everywhere. The problem with cameras often is if someone's not watching the screen, it's a reactive solution. You only have video footage of what's already happened. That can be helpful. How about if you had the ability to get real-time notifications and alerts? And even some of these solutions with machine learning are able to even predict if something's going to happen based off past incidences it's recorded. Yeah, can't talk today. So AI video, hot topic. If you have any customers that have cameras, have sensitive secured areas, or maybe in retail is really big, theft prevention, or even, you know, slip and falls. They get sued a lot with that. So there's a lot of solutions there we could talk about. Claro comes to mind, Epic IO comes to mind, there's a few others. Smart buildings. We have some partners that have actually changed their business model, and they only go after property management companies. It's kind of an untapped market. There's not, I mean, there's some people doing it obviously, but not like just general technology services, but going after customers that manage commercial properties. They need to be more efficient. They need more effective. They need to be safer. They have to be more attractive to tenants to come over and rent space, whether it's commercial or residential. You know, the term MDU, multi-dwelling unit, defines, you know, any kind of apartment complex, condos, even student housing. All those categories have a lot of IoT solutions that they could benefit from. Panic buttons. A lot of hotels and motels, and even school systems are leveraging panic buttons. Think about the I've fallen and I can't get up, but it's on steroids. I mean, actually, falling I can't get up, that just connects to a call center and says, hey, send help. But if you can't talk and tell them, you know, where you are at, unless you're at home, that's on your account. But what if you're somewhere else? Doesn't do you any good. So be able to get real-time location services with this solution is important, especially thinking about a hotel, maybe 300 rooms, a housekeeping staff member is either maybe having a medical emergency, got hurt, or someone's harassing them. Happens all the time. It just doesn't always make the news. In fact, we're seeing a little over a half dozen states have mandated, this is kind of like an OSHA requirement, that they have these panic buttons. RTLS stands for real-time location services, really big in healthcare right now. You know, some studies show that nurses spend at least an hour, maybe more, of their shift looking for equipment. You think about in a hospital, everything's on wheels. You know, IV stands, respirators, EKG machines, X-ray machines, you name it, it's on wheels, and it rolls away. Someone grabs it, moves it, gets stashed in a closet. Maybe it's behind a curtain in a room. So there are solutions that can actually help hospitals have an app, and, you know, first of all, alert them if that EKG machine is not supposed to leave the ward. It notifies that ward manager, hey, your equipment's rolling away to some other department. Maybe someone's borrowing it. Maybe it's a good reason, but you need to know about it. So when it's your turn to use it, you know where it is. So if you're working in healthcare, or you know, that same technology be crossed over to logistics and warehouses. Car lots use a lot of the same technology. So as you'll see in IoT, there may be a vertical or a use case, but it can be repurposed across other use cases and other verticals. That's what I think is pretty cool. Fleet management, we brought Spiry on recently. They're a top player in this space. It used to be just dots on a map. Now there's cameras that face in. Also with AI, can detect if a driver is getting sleepy, you know, by head nods, slower eye blinks, and it can alert dispatch, hey, you need to call Chris. He's getting drowsy. He needs to pull over and have a coffee, maybe clock out for the day. Even cameras facing outward. You know, there's a lot of trucking. You know, I think about utility companies, school buses, city buses. people pull in front of them and stop short or even back up into them so they can claim they got rear-ended and sue the company. When you have all this on camera, there is no lawsuit. In fact, that person gets arrested for falsifying a police incident report. A lot of opportunities there. So, again, if you think, well, Chris, I don't have any customers that have fleets, maybe this is an area you can expand into. Maybe this is some new green fields you could go into. Don't let what you've sold in the past dictate what you sell in the future. There's a lot of meat on the bone here, as a boss of mine used to say. Agriculture is another area that we can spend a lot of time on. There's a lot of studies that show experts are kind of concerned with the population boom we're seeing on this planet, not just in the US, but how we're going to feed everybody. And so smart agriculture is leveraging technology, drones, cameras, sensors, different various connectivity types in the wireless space, all to grow more and yield more crop. So again, if you're in an area where agriculture is a play, take note, give us a call. We could introduce you to some suppliers can help you there. And then last but not least, again, this is just the top 7. There's more. We just don't have time to go into it. Top 7 here. Number 7, EV chargers. Modus Systems right now kind of has this area locked up. They have the ability to provide you a solution for your customers that either own properties, have retail strip malls, think about hotel motels, anywhere where there's a parking lot that people need to park. If you're in a market that is really pushing electric cars, I mean, obviously out west, there's states that are doing it. And yes, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done on the power grid. But it's an alternative option. I personally think the hybrid cars is a good plan because you're kind of doing a little bit best of both worlds, but at least you got that gas backup. Everybody's got an opinion on that. But EV chargers, you can get 5% on the hardware cost, and then 10% quarterly of all the ad revenue that's generated by the digital signage that they attach to the EV chargers. And you don't have to do the EV chargers. You can do digital signage standalone by itself. So there's a lot of retail, fast food chains, even menu boards. There's a lot of opportunities that, as an ecosystem, we've just passed by because we didn't have anything to sell there. But now you do EV chargers with digital signage. It comes bundled with the ad placement already aligned and contracted out. The end user, nor you have to worry about getting ads. It just comes. And the cool part is the end user, the property owner, has first right of refusal. They can say, hey, I want my ads to run, or I don't want my competitors' ads to run. If I'm a Burger King or McDonald's, you don't want to show Popeye ads on your board. So it's pretty customizable, and all these areas are growing. We're seeing a lot of traction. The funnel's growing for each of these. Again, there's more to talk about, but these are the ones I want to make sure you knew about. Transitioning over to mobility. Again, someone asked me, what is mobility? And that's a great question because everybody kind of has a different answer. But bottom line, I just like to simplify it. Pretty much anything with a SIM card typically is considered mobility. Okay, so that means smartphones, tablets, watches, gateways. We don't often think of gateways, but a lot of gateways can actually be mobile. They can be installed in a vehicle. And, think about food trucks and utility and police cruisers and ambulances and fire trucks. They all have cellular gateways in them at this point. If they're a tier 1, tier 2 city, they have gateways in them. So a lot of opportunity there. Managed mobility is a as a service kind of solution. It takes the whole ecosystem of cell phones and tablets, and from the hardware, break fix, RMA, aggregating the carriers, cell plan, data plan optimization. It outsources all of it. It really makes it easy on any large company. Generally, you need about 100 devices to make this even become a conversation. We talk about that for an hour as well. Cellular backup, I kind of mentioned. Most of you probably have sold some form of cellular backup. Cradlepoint, Sierra Wireless, Pep, Link, Digi, with a SIM card in it, maybe connected with SD-WAN. So if you're selling coax and SD-WAN and you're not selling cellular backup, again, missed opportunity. It's kind of table stakes at this point. SIM only, we're seeing an uptick there. I mean, as I mentioned, a lot of these IoT devices are not on the network. People don't want them on the network for security reasons, right? And by the way, little side note, all of this needs to be secure. So there's always a security conversation to be had, whether it be IoT or mobility. But yeah, SIM only, we see remote patient monitoring, the healthcare industry is a big area we're seeing SIM only kind of deals where they already have the devices. The device may even need to be certified to be on the network. We have suppliers that can help with that even. So, if you have any of your clients and they're deploying devices that need connectivity and they need help sourcing SIM cards, you have plenty of options there. That's probably one of the easier ones. Managed Wi-Fi. I say the only thing worse than no Wi-Fi is bad Wi-Fi. And I have a new saying now. The second best, worst thing against bad Wi-Fi is no analytics and no data being collected. If you're having a technology that you have to secure, you're powering it up, and you're not getting actionable data from it, I mean, that's a miss as well. So what I love about managed Wi-Fi today, excuse me. One thing I love about managed Wi-Fi today is it actually gives you, actionable data. It collects all types of data points. You can actually, give you heat maps in a retail store where people are spending most of their time, or what aisles and displays are they looking at the most. They can identify if someone comes back to that store multiple times a week and he doesn't buy anything. Oftentimes these managed Wi-Fi solutions can be coupled with an AI video solution. So it's just great seeing how technologies can be coupled together to get that correct outcome. And of course, every business wants to be more efficient, effective, and have a better bottom line. Wireless expense management, that's another no-brainer for anything over 100 devices. The close rate is like 90% if you get a demo. If you do a demo with one of our suppliers that plays in this space, once, because typically to start the demo, before you even do the demo, you need to ask your customer, hey, can I get a copy, at least one, if not ideally 2 months of their phone bills, because one month might be a one-off and might not represent the whole picture. So at least 2 months, the odds of them having one-off months back to back are slim. So if you get 2 months PDF file of their bill, and these different suppliers in this space of wireless expense management, they'll actually get them a demo going, hey, if you were a customer 2 months ago, you would have paid X% less. Here's what we would have done for you. And by the way, you have 25 cell phones that have not been used in 6 months or more maybe. And after a CFO and a CIO or anyone at the C-level hears and sees that, it's just a matter of how fast can you get the contract over. 9 out of 10 times, and that other one time is maybe because it's bad timing. They're going to go through a merger, or maybe they're about to lay off a lot of. There's always some reason that a company may not even make a good decision that they should make, and you need to understand what those reasons could be. Signal optimization, another very exciting, undervalued mobility wireless solution. We have a supplier that can provide this. Think about how many times you've been in an office building or a hospital. Hospitals are notorious for it. Some airports maybe, where there's no cell signal, and you have to hop on a call. You have to call someone, especially if the hospital. You need to call the family and let them know what's going on. At least get a text out, and maybe they don't even have Wi-Fi that you can get on. So there's solutions that you can actually put an antenna on the roof and bring down a network and just pump it out through the whole building, where you get full signal strength all throughout the building. How cool would that be? That's usually a CapEx project, but for larger deals, they will make it OpEx, where you could take that $500,000 investment, spread it out over 36 or more months. POTS line replacement. I hope you've heard about this by now. This has been a hot topic for several years. It's really just now coming to fruition. August, the FCC, said, hey, no longer regulated phone companies. Do what you want with it. Turn them off. Charge $400. We don't care. And that's what's happening. A lot of companies are not paying attention to those phone bills, whether it be telecom expense management or wireless expense management. They're just not looking. They're just paying the bill because it's a necessary evil. You got to have telecom. Just pay the bill. But no one's looking at, hey, why is it going up a couple of points every month? Well, probably those POTS lines are just going up because that's the phone company's way of getting you off of it. They want you to get onto something else. POTS line replacement is what that is. And there's probably a dozen options out there. It used to be just 1 or 2, but there's no lack of POTS line replacement because companies, suppliers realize, hey, this is a need, and this is just going to become a bigger need over the next few years. So there'll be a day where there will be no analog copper, POTS lines out there because they're just not installing them anymore. They're not supporting them. They're not servicing them. So if you have customers with multi-location, multi-story, which has an elevator, this is a great conversation. Or even the fire alarm lines, stairwell alarm panels, all of these need POTS lines. So let's move on. A couple of use cases. Again, in the interest of time, I could give you a dozen use cases. I like this one from Epic.io. A retail chain, a large retail chain, 650 locations, $33,000 MRC. Don't you wish those just fell from the sky? But it's a typical challenge. But this use case, again, can be duplicated across so many different brands and use types of retailers. More and more things are going to the cloud, including the point of sale. Probably their phone system is some kind of cloud-based system. So when that cable goes down, a lot of them have cable, they're dead in the water. So having a managed solution where it doesn't matter what carrier they're on, if they need to upgrade or downgrade the data plans, they can do that easily. That's what Epic did. So they brought in Cradlepoint, dual SIM, 2 different carriers. That's built-in redundancy. Gave them the ability, and that they even did some, Cradleport has some built-in SD-WAN functionality, so they could, manage failover. So once the cable came back up, the Cradlepoint device automatically failed it back over to the coax. So again, if you're not selling this type of solution, man, you're missing it. This is again table stakes. And they're not incredibly hard to sell because retailers and businesses know if they're losing out when the internet goes down. And let's face it, that's been a problem for years. Another one from Epic.io. This is a very interesting one. I mean, who thought we would ever be monitoring trash cans or trash bins as it's listed here? $5,000 a month. An amusement park in the South had 250 trash cans, and they had 12 employees walking around checking them, because this is a high-end amusement park, and the patrons didn't expect to see overflowing trash cans with flies all over the place. And that's just not the experience you want for your customers. So now, by having trash can monitors with IoT, a sensor added to this trash can, and the lid of the trash can, it shoots down a signal and says, okay, hey, this trash can's empty. You just emptied it. Wait a minute, it's a quarter full now. It's half full. It's 3/4 full. And all of this is going to the cloud. It's going to an app on 3 employees. It went from 12 employees to 3 employees that are now, the system, the AI automatically ranks the trash cans in the order that you need to go, and it creates a route for them. These are the order you need to empty these trash cans. And it also helped them realize, gosh, some trash cans fill up faster than others. Ding, 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 ding. Maybe we put another trash can there. Maybe we need to increase the amount of trash cans there. So it gave this amusement park a great opportunity to reallocate 9 other employees and just become more efficient and effective, have the data to make good decisions and give their patrons a great experience. Who would ever thought that trash can monitoring would do all that? I did. Another one, I love this one, Modus Systems. This is kind of a hybrid as well. A lot of digital signage, by the way, requires an internet connection, because you have to push those ads to these digital signs, these flat screens. And this particular scenario, I don't know if it's listed, but they actually did that with a Cradlepoint. They didn't want to put the signs on the customer's network, so they had to have their own connectivity. Did that with Cradlepoint, and they also installed EV chargers at all these locations. This was in California, a big market where it's just expected you're going to have an EV charger there. And by using a lot of the tax credits from the federal government and the state government, 90% of the hardware cost was paid for, and the rest of it was subsidized by the ad revenue that was coming in. So at some point, that ad revenue was just going to be profit in the pocket of the end user, the property owner. And by the way, from day one, the partners are getting a part of that ad revenue paid quarterly. So that's pretty cool. So this is a very unique scenario of really kind of 2 different solutions that we just haven't seen a lot sold in this ecosystem. Minus the Cradlepoint, that part we get, but the digital signage and EV chargers, this is a fairly new offering, and we're seeing a lot of traction with it. So here's your homework part. This is a part that I like for you to really think on. Write down 3 to 5, challenge you to at least write down 3 of your existing customers that may have came to mind during this presentation. Now look them over and maybe just put an asterisk or circle the ones you feel you have the best relationship with, the one that, maybe you feel like you're even friends, even maybe you're okay with making a mistake in front of them. Now write down what kind of questions would you ask, and if you don't even know where to begin, that is another reason why you should scan that QR code and book a time with me, or reach out to Jason Kaufman or your Teleris engineer. We can help you formulate those questions based off whatever that customer vertical is in. It's so important to be able to have good diagnostic questions. You're never going to ask, hey, can I sell you some mobility? Hey, can I sell you some IoT? That will never be the question. We're always looking for, first of all, understanding what kind of outcome the customer is looking for. What kind of business problems can we solve with technology? And there's a whole list of different kind of problems, and the list changes so often. It's not even hardly worth making a list because it's very fluid because the technology keeps increasing and evolving is probably a better word. So there you go. Here's the QR code one more time. Scan that. That'll give you access to a calendar link where we can schedule some time. Gives you an access to a link of all of the suppliers in this space. You can kind of look over. You can also see them in the back office, the Teleris back office, under the matrices, under the quoting tools. I highly encourage you to check that out. And in our podcast, yeah. So Josh the Preso has a great podcast. I have a podcast. Most of my guests are somehow affiliated with wireless IoT, and I have a great time there. They're usually 20 to 30 minutes long, kind of easy listens if you're commuting or just working from home and whatnot. So thanks for checking this out, and we appreciate you as a partner, and have a great remainder of your day.